What's going on, folks? Welcome to episode 12 of the podcast, and today we're going to talk about something that is so important, and in a world where we have no control over anything, we have control of this, and that's your website and your social media. So let's jump into it. Now, this is completely subjective. There are things that you might like that I don't like, and vice versa, but I'm going to talk about a few things that I've experienced and that's worked for me, and that I think is the most effective. And let's start out with website. And no matter who you are, if you're a musician, an artist, a writer, a business person, a real estate person, it all kind of works the same, in my opinion. The layout has to be effective. And right now, especially for musicians like myself, we can't play out live. We can live stream as much as we can. I know for me, it's kind of hard in my apartment. I don't have a gigantic apartment and not like the prettiest background. So we do what we can, right? We do exactly what we can. We work on other things. We try to put out videos, put out new music, things like that. But on the day-to-day, when you're kind of stuck inside, or you got furloughed from your job and you're on unemployment and you're working and trying to see what the heck to do now, you have the control at your fingertips for all these things, the social media, the website, whatever that may be. So why not take advantage? So let's jump into it. Let's talk a little bit about first website, because I think a lot of stuff stems from that. And I used to think my biggest thing used to be, oh man, I have to have a cool website. And I designed this whole website, and I brought it to a friend that does this for a living. And he's like, dude, this is not, no, this is not it. This is not how you're supposed to operate. So I redid my whole website. And of course, you have to have the branding. You have to have, a consistent look. But even those like really, really minute tasks of, okay, the navigation bar, what should be on the landing page? Is it just your logo? Is it just your website? Is it a picture of you? I never knew what the heck was the right thing to do. So here's what I found and what I was told and what's worked for me and what has drove traffic to things. For when you go on your website and you go on your landing page, the first thing that you see, it shouldn't necessarily be a picture of you. It shouldn't necessarily be the branding. The branding should be there, but maybe not front and center. What I have found to be the best option for when you land right on your website is the piece of content you want to feature most, the thing that you want people to see first, whether it's like your new music video, your new song, live performance, right there, right on the landing page, the first thing they see. And then you can scroll or click your tabs. What I found the most effective, and we'll jump into this in a second, is the scrolling. So you get to your website and it's the first thing. And preferably what I've seen in my experience is if it's a video, especially if it's like an embedded video from YouTube, which this will be a common theme when we get to that point, it'll get views too, and your view count will jump up. So what I've done is my song "You Okay." I did a music video for it, and I put that up right away, right as the music video came out. And especially instant premieres, that's really cool feature from YouTube. So you can drive traffic to your website, or you drive traffic to your YouTube channel for this premiere. You put that first. That's like the first thing they see when they jump on your newest music video, your newest performance, whatever that may be. A little bit later, I did a live version of You Okay from my apartment. Stuck in quarantine, you can't play out, so you might as well do a live performance at your apartment as much as you can. And I put that right as the homepage. And you can check this all out too on my website, monroemusic.net, just how I laid it out. And now there's the next idea, the next way of thinking of like a typical website will have, above everything, the header of the website under where you do the www part, that has the navigation bar, right? Home, music, pictures, videos, things like that. And I had my website set up like that for a very long time, where you could just click on the stuff above. But what I found is simple is better, especially as a rising artist, right? You're not Justin Timberlake, you're not Sam Smith quite yet, right? So first, it's going to be hard just to get people to drive to your website, because back in the day, when I was growing up, you would go to the website for all your information, because it wasn't Facebook necessarily. There wasn't Instagram, YouTube, all this stuff. So if you wanted to see an artist play live or see any new music videos, you would go to that artist's website. Now there's so much more, so many more opportunities to connect with artists or whoever you want to connect with, that it's really hard to get people, in my opinion, to jump to your website, because they could just be scrolling on YouTube, watching one of your videos, and then get sucked in and watch other videos, or on Instagram, Facebook, etc. So my approach to the website is simple yet sophisticated. So for me, I don't even have a navigation bar at the top. I force the viewer to scroll down. And as they scroll down, they'll see options. It'll have my video. The next thing will be a very short paragraph about me, where you can link to a bio if you're so interested to check out more. I don't want to force feed you information. And as you go down, you'll see little tabs where it says about, music, podcasts, etc. And under that's the link to like featured merch in the store. And then right below that is just a easy sign up. And literally this is the landing page of the website. It is super, super simple. I'm not asking too much, and I'm not overwhelming whoever is going to view my website. And let's be honest, people are kind of lazy. You want it to be simple. You don't want to overwhelm the viewer. They're going to be going to your website for a specific reason. That's my theory. If in these days, if people are going to a website, they're going for a reason. Even your favorite artists, you have their Instagram, which is right there for you. You have their YouTube, and most likely, if you are viewing their newest music video for their newest album or their newest single, you're going to YouTube. Seldom, at least for artists, I believe, do people really go to the website unless there's this big thing happening. I think that's more for businesses and connecting with a business owner or a service, or I guess for artists it would be like merch. And I think it's even rare now that, there's a lot of merch sales and things like that. Especially with this pandemic going on. So I say make it simple, make it clean, have the branding be constant, of course, and just make it easy for people. And what I think is really, really important that I never thought about until I put out You OK was when they go look for your music and your videos, you kind of should group everything together in an essential, like a sequential order, right? So my first EP was the Streetlight EP. And then I came out with You OK as a single. We're going to be coming out with another single, and eventually we'll come out with a full-length album of all this new music. So when you hit on my music page, you have the Streetlight EP, and then right next to it you have You OK. And under that album artwork, which you can click and listen to the whole thing and bring up all the streaming services, you have all the videos that relate to that album or relate to that single. Keeping everything together, very similar to your different eras and your different, way of expressing yourself musically. All that stuff is together. So you make it so easy for whoever's visiting your website and wants to see your content. Make it very, very easy for them. What I think is really important too on your website, when you have your album artwork, there's a lot of options on many different platforms. And for me, I use Squarespace. So you can upload the song on Squarespace and make like an album page where you click on each track and it'll play, and it has the nice little Squarespace player. That's cool. But what I found to be the best option is you have a picture of the album art and you have a little button on it that says listen now, and you link it to something like Feature FM, which I found to be the most effective way to bring it to the viewer, because if they click on it and it goes to this Feature FM page, they have this little widget that it pops up and they can go choose whichever streaming service or iTunes or wherever they want to purchase it from, Amazon, and it's completely free. So I highly suggest jumping over to Feature FM and signing up and putting your music out there. It can also link to Spotify through Feature FM, Bandcamp, wherever you can still purchase. You can still give the viewer the option to purchase music, but obviously, everyone's streaming, so who knows? What I really want to stress again is I think less traffic is going to be driven to your website unless you're really making people go to your website. I think most viewers right now, specifically the age demographic of like the 35 and unders, will be going to social media because it's so easy. And going back to that, I would say laziness and more lack of attention span. The younger people, there's so much less attention span. They don't want to read. They don't want to. This is just my opinion. You take it with a grain of salt. I don't think that these younger viewers want too much info. So that's why, in my opinion, Instagram and, like TikTok videos, these are all like the biggest hype and that are trending now because it's just so easy. It's condensed content. When Instagram first came out, it's just pictures, and half the time people don't even read the captions. And now, you have your videos and they have the reels, very similar to TikTok. It's just short content versus YouTube, which I believe draws a viewer that is okay with that longer content. And that's also something that we're going to talk about right now, jumping into social media. Let's see, I wrote this down. I'm usually completely off the cuff, but I had to write this down. So here's my view with social media. So we're going to tackle the big three. So we're going to tackle Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. You can go ahead and do TikTok. I don't know, man. I don't know about TikTok. It doesn't necessarily work for me. I have an account and I've put just some live stuff on there, acoustic performances or whatever it may be, but I don't know. I'm not very good at viral dancing. So if you want more TikTok, you can go listen to like Gary Vee or something. But let's talk how these all work. So Instagram and Facebook. My hypothesis for this is Instagram and Facebook, you can be creative, but I think especially if you're thinking of long form media such as, music videos or, performances, or, if you give a seminar and a talk and you have this long, hour and a half video that is talking about your company, that's going to live on YouTube. You take Instagram and you take Facebook and you basically tell the viewer, hey, here's a little clip. This is a little bit about what I'm doing. Go to YouTube and check it out. At least that's how I'm functioning. So let's talk Instagram. So for me, if I have a long video or some piece of media that is longer, such as a live performance, I'll take You OK, for example, when I did it live in my apartment. For Instagram, I did a photo post and it looked cool and it said, all right, this is coming exclusively on YouTube, and, get the likes from that, build the anticipation. And then I'll put a day of a little trailer of it, or the day before a little trailer of it saying exclusively on YouTube with the YouTube branding and on your website. And this is what I found to be the most important thing, specifically for Instagram. The link in bio, because you can only have one link in your bio. That link in bio is so important for so many reasons. You want it to obviously link to everything else. You want it to have, your website, and you want it to have your YouTube or whatever it may be, your TikTok, whatever. You want to merge all the accounts. And obviously you can only have one link. So when I didn't know what I was doing, I would just put my website in there and I said, okay, cool, check out my stuff. Here's my website. Then I got a little hipper and I started Linktree, right? Because I was broke and I don't want to pay for that. And every time I put the Linktree bio in there, Linktree, it would never load, or it would freeze, and it would, I had friends clicking on it and it would say, oh, something on this page went wrong, like the majority of the time, and it was really annoying. So what I found was I went on to Squarespace, I created a new cover page, and that's now my link in bio. So I created a hidden page that's not really linked to anything other than that one link in my Instagram page. I put it as the link in bio, and now when you click that, it's a customizable page. It brings you right to a Squarespace account where you have options to, view the podcast, view my YouTube channel, or go to my website. And I feel like that's the best way to really, customize and not be afraid of things crashing on you, because at least Squarespace, as far as crashing in my experience, hasn't been as bad as some of the other things. And it's, you're already paying for the website, you're paying for the hosting. Why not get the most out of it? So, and of course you have, you go to that page. In my opinion, the best way is to put your Instagram username, just a very small thing about you, maybe a little picture at the top. Again, super, super, super simple, just like the website. Super simple, super direct, make it easy to find content. And I just have, 3 little buttons at the bottom. And of course, they have the social links in there, if you want to go to Twitter or whatever it may be. As far as content for Instagram and long form media, I never put any long form media on there. I know you can do, the Instagram's, the Instagram video or Instagram TV, and that's cool. I just like the longevity of YouTube, because I believe the YouTube views over time, when they add up, I really don't think YouTube's going anywhere. And I believe for artists, or in general, YouTube views play a big role, especially when people are looking you up. And if they want to really know about you, they're going to look, and they're going to look for those long form videos. And, getting those views over, an Instagram view, I don't know. It's not as important, in my opinion. I think YouTube views are way more important. But of course, taking Instagram to draw attention, that's huge as well. So that's all I'll say about Instagram for right now. We'll jump back, or we'll talk about it again later. But let's talk about Facebook. And Facebook, I think, is the trickiest thing for me, because when we were growing up, Facebook was the big thing, right? The social network, the first big, after MySpace, of course, so like the first thing where it was widely accepted, and now it's being accepted, whether we like it or not, by our parents, and that older generation. And by older, I mean, the 35 and up, maybe 40 and up. Facebook is in a way very diluted now. And it's still effective, and it's still important, and it does draw attention. But I think Facebook is now a different demographic. I think Facebook caters to an older demographic now, as opposed to Instagram, which is more of like the 20s, 30s, and TikTok is even younger. And what's great about YouTube is it goes everybody. So Facebook is tricky, because I think Facebook really wants to compete with YouTube with their video content. They want to be just as important, if not more important, than YouTube. So I don't know if that's ever going to happen, or if that's even feasible, but they're trying. So here's the thing. When you have, let's say, video content, I approach it very similar to the way that I approach YouTube. I approach it the same way as I approach Instagram, where I will give you a little snippet of some sort of long form video or some sort of long form content that I have on YouTube. And then I will most likely on Facebook link it to my website, which, if we remember it, the first video that I am linking is always on that landing page. So you get like a 2-for-1. You want to link to the most recent video content, which just so happens to be embedded right on the landing page of your website. So you draw the traffic that way. You can also link to the long form video on YouTube, which is fine. But any chance I get to draw someone to my website where they can click more and learn more and all that good stuff, that is my ultimate goal. But that being said, Facebook has their video views as well, very similar to Instagram, but I put slightly more importance, in my opinion, on the Facebook video views over the Instagram video views. I don't know why. I think Facebook organically just gets more and your video gets pushed to the top again algorithmically if it has more views. But still, that being said, I try to still link everything to the website or link everything to the YouTube because YouTube holds so much more and it's just so much more accessible, in my opinion. If you're going to host a lot of videos on Facebook, I think it's really a lot harder for the viewer to find more stuff, more videos specifically about you on Facebook than it is on Instagram because you have those playlists, which you can customize, by the way. And you can customize what videos in your playlist, what order they are seen on your page. It's just cool. That's just my opinion. Overall, the overall arching theme I think about social media and what I'm seeing is the most successful social media, the most successful websites, the most successful content out there is just the most genuine. Like when I was starting out and I had my first band back in 2009 maybe, my first actual band and trying to be somebody and trying to be this personality. I thought I had to be cool. I had to put up this persona. I had to be that guy that every guy wants to be and every girl wants to be with. All this crap. And it took a long time, but now really realizing, no, that don't put up a facade. It might work for the big pop stars out there or whatever, or, might work for somebody, maybe not work for you. In my opinion, in my experience, the realer I have been and the more honest that I have been, both musically and content-wise, it does the best. Because I think people are drawn to your social media, drawn to your videos, whatever that may be, because they want to see who you are. And that is, it's priceless because there's only you. There's only one you. There's a bunch of cool guys or cool girls or sexy, whatever, but they're not you. They don't have your views. They don't have anything about you. So that is so important. Anyway, going to YouTube real quick. Again, I've been talking about YouTube. I think YouTube's great. I think what's really important that a lot of my peers or upcoming artists are missing is that little subscribe box on the lower right, and that's super easy to find. I really suggest having that up there so it's really easy, especially if you're hosting a YouTube video on a social media site. They can subscribe to you by just clicking on the video. They don't even have to go to your page. One click, easy. Yeah. And as far as, I think YouTube subscribers is really important too. I think that's a really nice key metric too, because every time you upload a video or do something new, you're uploading that video to YouTube is where it lives, and you kind of disperse it to all your social media and your website. But every time you upload something, your subscriber gets notified, which is really cool. And it kind of keeps them up to date. And generally just going off of branding and the way everything looks. There are websites for this, and I highly suggest visiting them and making sure that all of your content is at the correct aspect ratio and everything is set up perfectly for each account. YouTube banners are a specific size and should probably look a specific way, and your Facebook profile picture and your Facebook banner and your Instagram videos or things. Everything is different, so make sure that it is consistent throughout and it all looks good. And something that I've recently started that I think is really important, if let's say, okay, you have a video on YouTube that you want people to watch, and you're putting out, like I do, little trailers or little snippets on each social media platform. For instance, Instagram, let's say keep it simple, Instagram and Facebook. What I used to do was I would take what I had for Facebook and I would condense it down to Instagram. It would be the same clip on both social media platforms. But if you have people that are following you already, they probably already follow your Facebook. They probably already follow you on Instagram. So I suggest taking the time to have separate clips for each social media so they're not seeing the same thing twice. I think that's extremely effective and it keeps people viewing it. Similarly, if you're on Instagram and you have, a 30-second video clip in your profile and you want to put something on your story, make it different. Because if they see it on your story while they're scrolling, sitting on the couch scrolling through Instagram stories, or they're at work and they're on break and they're just looking through, Instagram stories, swiping one to the next, and they already see it, they're not going to take the time to look at it on your profile either. Same idea goes for Facebook. So I would say take the time once you already have the video, so you might as well chop it up, have maybe 4 different clips and do it that way. If you're going to do it, just do it right. You might as well. And that kind of just brings the whole idea of making the most of content in general. You already work so hard to have this one video. I know it's a pain in the ass when you work so hard to record this cover or record this talk or, make this one thing, whether it be a video or audio, and make the most of it. You worked hard. Use as much as humanly possible. And if you're not comfortable doing video and you don't feel comfortable being in front of a camera, or you feel slightly, insecure about it or the way you look, then just do audio. Do a podcast. It's also why I don't record the videos for these podcasts all the time, because we're during pandemic time and quarantine, and I don't want to look great all the time. It takes work, you don't wake up like this. So if you don't feel comfortable doing video, do audio. Just do something to get yourself out there. And because that's all you can do right now. We can't play out. We can't, go to these meetups or whatever it may be, these networking things. So you got to do it online, and you got to make content and effective content. And at the end of the day, you got to be yourself, because you're going to fail. And there's so many posts that I've done or website things that I've tried that have failed miserably, and no one liked it. No one viewed it. There are tracks that I put out that have no streams. There's merch that I have that has done amazing, and merch that I've put out that has done horrible. And you have to be willing to fail, because you're gonna fail. It's gonna happen. Nothing is ever going to be perfect, but you have to persevere. You get through it. You learn what doesn't work, and you fix it. You don't keep doing something that's broken. Look at the analytics, see what's working, see what's not working. Maybe it's not hitting the right note, and try to make it better and try to fix it. And don't worry about the likes. Don't worry about the views, especially in the beginning. Just put out authentic content that is you, because that's all you can do. And then you work it from there and you figure it out from there. As far as gig-wise and making money for musicians, this is kind of like a little bonus add-on. I know the struggle, and the struggle is real, as far as making money. And so I've kind of gone back to my roots of, writing music for film and writing music for video games and things like that. And there are so many good websites that you can use in this time where you can work remotely. So I took the time in the beginning of this pandemic, I was finishing up You OK and moving on to another single. And when I wasn't in the studio, I was at my home studio making a little demo reel of films that I've scored, or, little things, video games, little transition pieces, making a little demo, making them unlisted on YouTube, and making another page on the website that's hidden, and it's only sent to people that I want to send it to, of my film reel and things like that. And I found websites like Production Hub, and there's a bunch of websites that are free, or they use credits and things like that, where you can reach out to filmmakers, or filmmakers are looking for music for their films and or whatever, video games, trailers. They looking for music to get mixed and mastered, and you can take this time to learn to do that stuff if you don't already know how. So wherever you are in your industry, there's always other ways to use your talent, especially in this weird circumstance that we are now, to make some money. I know it's hard. It's really hard, but there's ways to do it, and that's what I've seen, at least. So thank you guys for checking it out. We will be back, probably do another weekly update this week and pick another topic for next week. And any input, anything you guys want to talk about, hit me up, let me know, and we can talk about anything. We'll have some more guests on soon and do some interviews, and it'll be fun and yeah, really cool. Thank you guys for listening. I will talk to everybody soon. Have a good week. Bye.